So Chazara. We'll start with a quick Chazara. So the Gemara, the Mishnah actually was talking about Asar Batlan Shabes Knesses, that in order for it to be a different status than a kvar, than a village, you have to have Asar Batlan. For it to be a big city, it has to be that you have 10 Batlanim that are available for minyan, and they're not working the time of minyan, they're available. Right? So in the Mishnah we learned that when it comes to Megillah, that you could read the Megillah earlier, but you don't read the Megillah later. But then we brought three different instances where we push it off rather than read it earlier. Nothing to do with Megillah, just three different things. So one of them is Zman Atzik Kahanim, the time that Kahanim would bring the wood for the Beis HaMikdash, and they had a specific carbon that they brought, and this is something that we would do later rather than earlier. Tisha B'Av was another example. When the fast of Tisha B'Av falls out on Shabbos, so instead of fasting earlier, you fast on Sunday. The Chagiga, and the carbon Chagiga, that's a carbon that we have to bring for Yontif. We have Yontif, it's a special Yontif for the three Yom Tovim, Pesach, Shavuos, and Sukkot. There's a carbon Chagiga for the Yom Tovim. The Hakel, and then you have the mitzvah of Hakel. Hakel is the year after Shemitah. It's the Shmini Atzeres of the year after Shemitah, and it's a big thing. They take out the Sefer Torah, they read Mishnah Torah. I think the Melech reads Mishnah Torah, and that's something that you do afterwards as opposed to earlier. So the Gemara starts with Tisha B'Av Akdumi Param Niyos Lamikadmi. Tisha B'Av, the reason why we postpone it rather than do it earlier is because it's paranos, it's punishment, it's not stuff that we really want to rush into. So like we'd rather push it off than do it early. Chagiga v'hakel, Chagiga and hakel mishum dakati le'mat zman chivayhu. Carbon Chagiga, the time for Chagiga is not till Yontif. So before Yontif, it's not time for carbon Chagiga. So the first day of Yontif falls out on Shabbos. Before Yontif, there's no tashlumin because you are not yet mechoyev in bringing this carbon. And Hakel also, because it's not the time yet of Hakel, so you don't do Hakel earlier. Tana Chagiga v'chol zman Chagiga. So the Mishnah said Chagiga, and the whole zman of Chagiga ma'acher. You push it off. Bishlam Chagiga. So it's understandable Chagiga imikla b'Shabbata machrin lo l'basar Shabbata. Right, so Chagiga, so it falls out on Shabbos the first day, so you push it off till the day after Shabbos, which we know as like Sunday. El Zman Chagiga Mahi. Why does the Mishnah say Zman Chagiga? Should say Chagiga? And Rav Oishya Hachakama. Oishya says no. This is what we meant to say. Chagiga b'Shabbos. The oilas re'iyah fila b'Yontif, and the oila carbon of the oila of re'iyah even on Yontif and Chagiga on Shabbos. The Zman Chagiga Ma'achrin. Right money. So who's that like? It's like Beis Shammai. It's not. Beis Shammai Emin. V'in Shlomim b'Yontif. In Sun Kun Aleihen. We bring a Shlomim on Yontif. You could bring a Shlomim on Yontif, but we don't do Smicha, like we discussed that it's a Shavuos, because it's like riding an animal, being kind of an animal, or putting your hands on the animal. So Beis Shammai says you bring the Shlomim, but you don't do Smicha till after Yontif, till after Shabbos. Avaloi Oiles, but you don't bring a carbon oila. You can bring a Shlomim, but not a carbon oila. Beis Hill Oimim. Beis Hill says we bring Shlomim v'Oiles to Sun Kun Aleihen. Beis Hill says name. We do Shlomim and Oiles, and we do Smicha. Rava Omar is already... Okay, let's know. Yeah, I don't know if you have to start again. We'll just restart. Okay, so we're going to go weiter. I just want to bring up, I said this before, I don't know, it should be on the video really, that when the shir started, it was like a little corner of the room. Now it grew so much, it's taking up the whole room. Omar Rava. Chagiga. Kozman Chagiga. Ma'achrin. Chagiga, so the carbon Chagiga, Kozman Chagiga, the whole time the Chagiga, which is Yontif, Ma'achrin. You could push it off to any of the other days. Once you didn't, do it because it's Shabbos. No, love that for Shabbos. If you didn't do it on the first day of Yontif, you have the rest of Yontif. It's very light. But more than that, not. Like pushing it off till after Yontif, after Yontif, it's already done. It's not. So we learned in the Mishnah, someone who does not bring the carbon chagiga on the first day of Yontif, he could go and bring the carbon chagiga the whole Yontif. And also what we know as Shmini Atzeres, right? It's Yontif Achron. It's really like kind of a separate type of yontif almost. So by Yom HaShmini, right? So he can still do it, even the last day of yontif. Over a regal, Sukkot is over. V'lo yichag, he didn't bring the korban chagiga. Ein chayiv achar yusay. He's no longer chayiv in the responsibility of tashlumin because the zman for the korban passed. Rav Ashi Omar. Rav Ashi says chagiga v'chol zman chagiga ma'achrin. Chagiga and the whole zman chagiga, the whole yontif ma'achrin. You could postpone it. Va'afilu atzeres, and even atzeres shavuos, which is the chad yoima, which is one day, ma'achrin, you could push it off. The Tnan, because we learned in the Mishnah, Moedim, Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel, both agree. Because the whole thing we're discussing is Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel. So Moedim, they both agree, or they just like the Miami Boys Choir Moedim song. Maybe they had something to do with Shabbos. That if Shavuos fell out on Shabbos, remember Shavuos Medarais is one day, so the one day you wouldn't have a Yont of Sheni like we have. Shemachol Atzeres Liyas b'Shabbos, so Atzeres Shavuos falls out on Shabbos. You have one day and it's Shabbos. Sheyom Tvoyach Achar Shabbos, the day of shechting the korbanos would be Sunday. Omar Rabbi Elazar, Omar Rabbi Chanina. Rabbi not on Atiyah B'Purim. Rabbi planted a plant or a shoot from a tree on Purim. V'rachatz v'kroin shel tzipori yeshiva asa b'tamas. He bathed in the marketplace of Tzipori on Shiva Asa B'Tamas. Uvikesh laka Tisha B'Av. He also wanted to remove Tisha B'Av, like cancel. He wanted to cancel Tisha B'Av. And the Rabbanim weren't masking. Amar Lefanav Rabbi Abba Bar Zavda. So Rabbi Abba Bar Zavda said, slow down. Rabbi, that's not how the story actually went. But it was actually a Tisha B'Av that fell out on Shabbos. And since you push off Tisha B'Av, it falls on Shabbos, you don't fast on Shabbos for Tisha B'Av. And just like every other year, you push it off till after Shabbos. So Rabbi said, once we pushed off Tisha B'Av, let's just, push it off, not cancel. And the Chachamim did not agree to him to cancel Tisha B'Av.